Alright, so we are pressure washing the engine. Got the trusty old pressure washer out here. We've got our power purple already all over the engine, on the engine cover. Sorry if there's any audio issues. We're going to fire this thing up and we're going to spray her. See how that goes down. Alright, now we're going to pull out these rags from the intake tube. I stuck those in there to keep water from getting in. Now we're going to stick this old dirty filter back on temporarily until I can find another one. Personally, I think this filter doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It's supposed to be a cold air intake, but yet all we're doing is sitting directly on top of the radiator, sucking in the hottest possible air we can from the radiator. So you're actually making your air intake temperatures a whole lot hotter instead of cooler. But it is what it is. Alright, and there you have it. The Renesis is clean. Now, will it start? Let's find out. Alright, so we've got a few things to talk about. I don't even know exactly where to begin, but the Sirius XM in the Prius does not work. Hasn't worked since I got it. There seems to be an antenna issue. So I bought this magnetic Sirius XM antenna that I'm going to have to basically splice the old adapter from the Prius, cut this adapter down below here, and that's going to be something I'll do later. It's not really important. It doesn't really make much of a difference. But we got some things to talk about, and I want to try to cover it in this video. So here's the original plate that came off of the RX8. And the RX8 seems to be a really hot topic right now, so we're going to talk about the RX8 first. You can see the RX8 was last tagged in August of 2011. All right, so that is 7 years that this car has probably sat and not been driven. That is a really long time, and we know for a fact that it has sat at Copart for about a year. My brother and I put some time into this, and we got this sucker put back together. All right, we got the interior put back together, we got the trunk put back together, we've got the engine bay cleaned. I just took it down to Firestone, and they did a suspension check, because when I'm driving, this front wheel rattles. There is rattling from here that sounds like a wheel might come off and you might die. Firestone looked at it and they said that it's actually whoever did the brake pads on this, these Duralast. He said that he doesn't know if they didn't install the brake hardware correctly or if the hardware just needs to be replaced, but he said the brake pads on this wheel are rattling like a son of a gun. He said he recommends completely redoing the front brake pads on this, and that's what I'm going to do. We're going to redo the front brakes on this car. We're also going to do the front sway bar bushings, I should say, on this side and that side. Both of the bushings are worn out, and he said that can cause an additional rattle. This tire, I don't know how well you can see it, probably because the camera is in the way, but we've got a lot of dry rotting, a lot of cracking in the sidewall all around the perimeter here. If you can see it, great. If not, just take my word for it. Not to mention the tread depth isn't that good. So here's the interesting thing. The front left tire is just shot, completely bad, no good. Then we've got this left rear tire. And this left rear tire is a, what is this? Hold on, let me find it here. It's a Falcon ZX ZE912. And the date on the tire is the 18th week of 2011. So these tires at least were put on right before the car was parked and stopped moving. So we've got a practically brand new tire, no signs of dry rot, nothing. It's absolutely perfect. But then you come over to the right back tire. The right back tire is junk. Again, old, dry rotted. We've got, well, I don't even see the manufacturer date on this one. That's how old it is. This is an old tire. Dry rotted, just like the left front. No tread, just like the left front. But then you come over to the right front, and lo and behold, we have a Falcon ZX ZE912. Again, no dry rotting, practically brand new tread on it. So what happened here is somewhere along the line, someone bought two brand new Falcon ZX tires, and they put one on the right front and one on the left rear. Then the two tires that were bad got one on the right rear and one on the left front. So what I did today is, finding these tires rather difficult. I guess they don't make them anymore, but I'm a big fan of matching tires. And since we bought this car on a huge budget of $535, I decided it only made sense to buy budget tires. So I found two 7/32. What were those again? I bought two Falcon ZX ZE912s, same tires, same size. I got them for about 50 bucks a piece, and that is with shipping. So 100 bucks, and we will have a set of matching tires for this car. Now, aside from that, it is running and driving a whole lot better. I mean, a ton better, and it still has half a tank of bad gasoline in it. I'll show you the interior as best I can. It is dark. We got the door panel put back on. Where the people broke it to remove it, you know, it is what it is. That's just the way it's going to be. We need to source a cover for here, but we got the, it's dark, sorry about that. We got this trim back on here. We got the trim on down here. Open up this door right here. We got the seats back in. We got, it is so dark in here. This is crazy. Usually my camera picks up pretty good in the dark, but in this particular case, it's not doing so well. Should have pulled it out into the sun, I guess. Try to come over here, open these doors. Maybe the tinted windows are making it a little darker. Let's open it up here. You can see we got that centerpiece in the middle there. We got the trim for the speakers back on. We got the door panels for the third and fourth door put together. We've got these inside panels for the speakers here and back there. We've got the glove box back in. We got all of this back on. That's back on. Everything is back together again, with the exception of the missing radio. We still have to deal with that. The trim here is put back on. The wires have been put back into place. Windows, everything works. We do need a windshield. Windshield here is cracked pretty good. Don't know if you can even see that, but we got a pretty cracked windshield here. Everything is working. The AC, oh, another update. This panel, I had a lot of people saying it was probably no good. This panel works. All of these buttons function again, high, low. The only thing that doesn't work is the hot and cold, and that is because I had to climb under the dash. The actuator, the motor for the hot and cold blend door was jammed, so it needs a new actuator. So what I did is I just disconnected it and I manually flipped it over to cold, and now the air conditioning is ice cold in this. The heat is hot when you flip it back. So we need an actuator. Other than that, the stereo and the speakers are a big deal. I don't even know if I'm going to screw with it, because this car came with 9 speakers and it's missing 8 of them. So replacing these speakers looks like a chore, and the speakers in these doors right here, they're massive. They look like they're at least 8-inch in diameter speakers. They are just huge. And, you know, this could get into costing some money to replace, you know, stereo speakers. I don't even know if it's worth it. Pop the trunk real quick. Show you guys the trunk. I've got to disconnect this. This is ridiculous. This was for somebody's stereo system. And basically, I just need to cut all of the wires. They spliced. And I need to plug this back in to the amplifier, which sits like up here. But that's if we want to screw with the stereo. It's going to be some work. Putting a stereo back in this is really going to be some work. I don't know if I want to screw with it. So here's where we're at. All the lights, signals, wipers, windows, sunroof, air conditioning, heat, power mirrors, power locks, keyless entry, alarm, all of that works. Everything works on this car. The engine, we spent some time earlier getting it nice and clean, so the engine looks really good. It's running a whole lot better. It's driving a whole lot better. Aside from needing some front brake pads and hardware and a couple tires and sway bar bushings, according to Firestone, this thing's in great shape. And I had Firestone change the oil. I had a lot of you tell me not to use synthetic, so we got rid of the synthetic oil. We went back with Quaker State, and I had a few of you say that 10W40 was really the way to go, and I know some of you are going to disagree with that, but if you really go online and research, they really say that the heavier weight is better for this. Now, the issues. We have a couple issues that are just aggravating to me. This is the air pump. This is basically a newer style smog pump that they used to put on old cars. The smog pump is not functioning. Now, I have checked for voltage at this connector right here. I have checked for continuity between ground and the frame, and we have it. And we have 12 volts DC when we fire the car up. So that motor apparently is trying to run, but the motor itself does not function. So we know that the air pump motor is bad, and that is throwing a check engine light. The other thing that's got me really aggravated is this thing has what's called a shudder valve. And I'm getting a code for the shudder valve low voltage circuit B. And the shudder valve is in a difficult location. We can pop this Renesis cover off, and I'll see if I can even show you. It's difficult to see. Right here is your shudder valve, and I know it's very difficult to see. I'm trying to get some better light on it. But this is vacuum actuated. There's a plate inside the intake manifold that opens and closes, and it's free. I can open it with my hand and close it with my hand. It works just fine. However, that actuator apparently is not functioning. I've gotten a code for the actuator is stuck open. I've gotten a code for the actuator is low current circuit B or something as well. So on that, I've already pulled the plug. I've checked the voltage. I've checked ground, and it's good. So it's probably the actuator itself has gone bad, and that sucks because to get that off is a real pain. You got to take off your water pump pulley, which is down here. You got to take off your alternator, the strut bar. You got to take off this intake stuff. You got to pull off your entire thermostat housing. The upper and lower thermostat housing has to come off, so you lose your coolant. The air pump has to come out, and it's all to get to that actuator down there. It's a real pain, and that's not something I really want to do. And it's $149 for the actuator. So, you know, it's not exactly cheap. I mean, it's not out of this world crazy expensive, but it's definitely not the cheapest thing in the world, and it's going to be quite a bit of work. So I don't know. So here's where we're at with the RX8. You know, it needs a few maintenance items. Nothing major, nothing that appears to be severe is wrong with it. It's running better and better the more I drive it, and I love it. I still hate that it's an automatic. I would have loved to have driven this thing as a 6-speed. That would have been a blast, but it is what it is. It's a $500 RX8 that runs and drives, so I'm not going to complain too much about that. Next is, what do I do with this car? I don't know. Do I flip it? How much do I sell it for? You know, I think if I just put a couple tires on it, get the rattling to go away by replacing the brake pads, replace the sway bar bushing, because, you know, that's something I should do. Maybe replace the windshield so that it's not all cracked up. We're going to clean it up today. We're going to work on that here in a minute, so we'll do another video about how it comes out when it's all clean. I'm thinking maybe $4,000, you know, 3,800, $4,000 for a running driving RX8. Maybe replace that actuator as well so you can actually use the heat and AC. But I probably wouldn't go so far as to replace all the stereo components. I don't know. That's something I want to ask you guys. This car is also Toro-able. Although I don't know if this would be the type of car to put on Toro because of, you know, their known lack of reliability. This could be put on Toro with a clean title and everything. Tell me what you guys think. Do you think, if you give this video a thumbs up, you think I should keep the RX8 and we should proceed with repairing it as needed and just drive it and enjoy it, fix it up, and do videos on this channel of the process of fixing it up? Thumbs down. You think we need to ditch the RX8 ASAP, sell it, we don't have much into it, make the money, get that profit, and move on to some more flips on this channel. Because I really don't know what to do. This is one that I'm actually torn on, and that almost never happens. But I love this car. I really do. Really enjoy this car. It's so much fun to drive. I just don't know if we should keep it. So if you think we should keep the RX8 and continue repairs and maintenance and stuff on this channel, give this video a thumbs up if that's something you're interested in. If you think I should just sell it and take the money and run, give this video a thumbs down. I know some of you are like, oh, I don't want to give your video a thumbs down. Just do it. Trust me. It's fine. It's not going to hurt me at all. Thumbs down this sucker if you want to ditch the RX8. Thumbs up if you want to keep it and you want to work with me and watch me go through this. Now that we're done with that, thumbs up, keep the RX8. Do more videos on this channel about it because that's what you want to see. Thumbs down, you want to see me get rid of it, take the money, and buy some more stuff. I just don't know. Now, I will say this. I am, something you all probably don't know, but I've got about $50,000-ish in debt. Now, this isn't like debt where bill collectors are coming to my door or anything like that. It's just what I owe creditors. All my bills are paid. I always pay on time, and everything is auto-drafted, so I'm never late. But it's getting to a point where I've been thinking, and one of the things that I would like is I want a new Corvette. If not new, a very low mileage, but much newer, you know, 2015 probably or up Corvette. And I need to get some of my debt down. So one of the things I'm going to do is probably in the next week or two, I'm going to pay off $7,000 on one of my car loans. I'm going to pay off the Chevy Cruze, and I'm going to be done with it. That doesn't mean I'm going to sell it. I'm going to keep the Chevy Cruze, but I'm going to pay it off, and I'm going to be done with that one. Next, I'm going to pay off the, I owe $3,500 or $3,700 on the Prius. Next step is to pay that off. After I pay off the Prius, that's going to leave me owing 30-something thousand on my 2017 Mustang GT. I need to get that paid down. And then just the Mustang is really the majority of my debt. But I need to pay off the Chevy Cruze first. I want to pay off the Prius second. Then we're going to work on really knocking down the debt on the Mustang GT. And then when we have sufficient equity in the GT, I will go to my credit union and get a pre-approval. And then, assuming I can get my fiance to be on board with this, we'll go get a new Corvette. And that would be exciting on this channel. So what I'm thinking is I may need to slow down on some of these cars for the next month or two. Now, that's not to say I'm going to stop making videos or I'm going to stop going to auctions. We're going to continue doing our auctions, our walkthroughs, and I'm going to continue bidding. But I think I'm going to bid on more interesting things, maybe just risky things, maybe enhanced vehicles. I haven't decided yet. We'll get to that in the future. I also plan on changing the name of this channel. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I have a design team working on my logo. I also have a design team working on my new intro and my new outro for you guys. I think it's time to close the book, not just the chapter, but to close the book on my Uber channel. And it's time to really put all of my efforts into making this the car channel. That if you look at my very first video on this channel from, I don't know, 2004, 2003, maybe even before then, you'll see that the very first video was a car video. So that's kind of an interesting thing. There'll be a card up here on the screen that you can click if you want to see that. But I think we're going to move forward with making this a car channel, but I want to get my debt paid off before I get too much invested into this, because I'm taking this very seriously. This is my business and I'm going to treat it as such. So if we keep the RX8, I want you to keep that in mind when you're thumbs upping to keep it or thumbs downing to ditch it. If we keep it, that means I'm going to be spending more money working on the RX8, and if you thumbs up it, that's what you want to see. If you thumbs down it, you don't want to see it. You want me to move on to other stuff from the auction. So if we keep it, we may have to slow down on the purchasing of cars from Copart. But if we sell it, you know, we can continue forward. So I'm really curious to see what you guys think, because I'm definitely taking your opinion into consideration in deciding whether to sell or keep the RX8. So please help me with this decision. Thumbs up, you want to see more videos on the RX8. You want to see us work on it, put it back together, and get it back to its former glory. Thumbs down, you don't care about the RX8. Get rid of it, take my money, and run with it. Help me make this decision. I appreciate you guys taking time to watch this video. I know it's long, and I'm long-winded sometimes, so appreciate your patience. Please don't forget to subscribe. I almost said like, don't. Like to keep the RX8, thumbs down if you think we need to ditch it and move on. But please comment below also. Tell me what your thoughts are and what I'm doing with this channel. Do you like where the content is going? Do you like how I'm doing things? Is there anything that you would recommend or that you would like to see me doing on the channel that I'm not doing? This is your chance to interact and tell me what you think and what you would like to see. So with that being said, I'm going to get out of here. I know this was a long video. I had a lot to cover today, but thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Stay safe out there. I'll catch you soon in the next one. Don't forget, we're going to the junkyard tomorrow.